Hello there, I'm Jackie from Get Online Step by Step, and today we're going to explore something that can really help your blog post to get found, and that's focus keywords. This is for total beginners, no jargon, no pressure, just a few simple steps that you can try out today. So what is a focus keyword? Well, it's simply the main phrase or the question that you might type into Google and that your blog post will answer. So, for example, if you're writing a post about choosing a niche, your focus keyword might be how to choose a niche. It's not about stuffing your post with keywords, it's about understanding what your reader is looking for and making sure that your post is a good match. And why focus keywords matter. Think of your blog post like a letter. Your focus keyword is the name on the envelope. It helps search engines and people understand what your post is about before they even click. So choosing one clear focus makes your writing feel more helpful, and it gives your blog a better chance of showing up in the search results, which is what you want. So how to find a focus keyword? If you're writing a post about blog topic ideas, ask yourself, what would I search for if I were new to blogging? So you might come up with something like, what should I blog about as a beginner? And that is your focus keyword. You don't need fancy tools, but here are 3 beginner-friendly ways to find your focus keyword. So the first method is to think like your reader. What would you type in if you were a complete beginner to blogging? A question you might ask is, what should I blog about as a beginner? And that becomes your focus keyword. What should I blog about as a beginner? I know it's more than one word and that really confused me, but what should I blog about as a beginner becomes your focus keyword. Another example, if you're writing about knitting for beginners, a question you might ask is, how do you cast on? And again, how do you cast on becomes your focus keyword. Now, the second method of finding good focus keywords for your website is Google. What would we do without Google? And I have to say, this is probably one of my favourite ways to find keywords. And we're going to pop over to Google and I'm going to show you how to use it. So here we are in Google, very recognisable. So I know that you've probably all seen this, but may not be aware of how useful it can be. But when you start a search in Google, it generates things that it thinks you might be looking for, you might be interested in. So if I put in here, how to cast on in knitting, can you see how it gives me lots of other variations? So how to cast on in knitting, or how to cast on in knitting when making a buttonhole, or using the thumb method. All of these could be your keywords. So it's another way of giving you some ideas of what keywords you can use. Let's just try another example. Let's look at fishing for, okay, here we go. Fishing for beginners, fishing for kids, fishing near me. If I put in a P, fishing for, now we get different things here, fishing for pike, fishing for pleasure, fishing for place. Now these are all things you could use for your keyword. So that's free and good fun as well. So give that a go, see how you get on, see how many keywords you can come up with. It gives you a lot of scope for different content creation. Just takes the pressure off you a bit. So yeah, give that a go. Now we go on to our next method. Okay, the third method I want to show you for generating focus keyword is Pinterest. Now I'm showing you this and I'm giving you a word of warning. this can be so addictive. And once you get into Pinterest, you might never come out. So go in with it and give yourself a time limit, because if you're like me, of course, you'll be there forever. So let's pop over to Pinterest and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are in Pinterest, and we are going to look for some focus keywords. I'm going to use the knitting example again. So we're going to click on the search icon there, and let's put in cast on in knitting. Oh, look, now we've got cast on in knitting, cast on in the middle, cast on in the round. Look at all these things. And the really lovely thing about this is you can look at the pictures. So if we put cast on in the middle of knitting, and there's pictures to go with it. This is where I suggest you don't go, because it's just time stealing. But Pinterest is a really good resource for you to find different focus keywords. We'll try our fishing one again. How to fish for, there we go again. You've got all these possible blog titles, focus keywords that you can write about on your blog. So have a look at Pinterest. Even if you don't get many keywords, it's lovely to look at. But as I say, it is a time stealer, so be careful on that one. And where do we put these focus keywords? So once you've chosen your keyword, hopefully you've managed to prize yourself out of Pinterest. Use it naturally in a few key places. Specifically, put it in your title, in the first paragraph, in one subheading, and put it a few times in the post, but only where it flows naturally. You want it, you don't want it to feel as if you've just plonked it in there. A gentle trick is to imagine that your post is a welcome mat, and if the keyword is woven into the front, middle, and just a few spots, readers and Google will feel right at home. So you really don't need to repeat it too much. That's just called keyword stuffing, and you really don't want to do that. Just write like you're talking to someone, and it will all feel right. It will all fall into place. So if you're not sure you've picked the right keyword, that's fine. It's all about learning what works for your readers and adjusting gently as you go. Over time, it becomes second nature. And tools like RankMath, which I use on my site, can give you gentle reminders, put you on the right path. I've got a beginner's post all about keywords on my blog, and I'll link that below if you'd like to read more. And if this video helped you, please feel free to comment, like or share. It really supports my little corner of the internet, and I'd love to hear what focus words you're working on at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.